Hi, welcome again to Culinary Capers here at Shell Point, and with my special, wonderful friend, Anna Smith from Fine Mark Bank. Anna, thanks again for coming into the kitchen. We're at the Armstrong's house today, but what are you going to do for us today, Anna?
We are so excited to be back cooking with you once more and excited to be here in the Armstrong's home in the estuary. Today we have a special treat. We're cooking with Jill Lane, our executive chef from our corporate office at Riverwalk. And she has her amazing sous chef with her, Kyle. And she's going to show us our next recipe, and I'll let Jill tell you all about it. Jill?
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. Today we're going to be making some crispy avocado street tacos with a chipotle sauce and a sour cream. And Kyle behind us, say hi, Kyle. Back there frying up our tiny little tortillas, corn and flour, and they smell amazing. So today we're going to start with our recipe. It's a crispy avocado taco. It's like a 2-bite taco, a street taco. Perfect hors d'oeuvre.
I could eat more than one of them.
That means you can eat as many as you want. They don't count. As many as you want. So the first thing we're going to start with is our chipotle sauce. Now, chipotle in adobo, you can buy in your international food aisle in the grocery store. It's wonderful. They're crazy spicy if you're not careful. A little bit goes a long way. I'm going to start with my sour cream mixture. It's going to go right in here.
And you told me you're going to show me how I can do this on a mild side too, right?
Absolutely. We're going to make it mild tonight. When I do it at home, I add approximately 4 of these little darlings. But they're, look at that. It's sloppy, it's gorgeous, it's coated in all the goodness, and we're gonna find a couple little guys in here.
Well, we have some other friends of Fine Mark here, so you can put a couple more in if you want.
Okay. They feeling brave?
Sure.
All right, there we go. Let's start with that. There we go.
There we go.
So it started blending a little bit.
Yep,
I'm going to add a little lime juice to it at this point.
Okay.
All right. So you can tell by looking at this, it's very light in color.
Let's get this so dang. Yeah.
And then we're going to move on to our actual avocados.
Oh.
The first thing I'm going to do is start by creating our batter. So we have a couple of cuts of plain panko in here. I'm going to add some Parmesan cheese to it. You don't have to. I just happen to love the Parmesan. It gets nice and crispy.
You can't put enough Parmesan and stuff as far as I'm concerned.
I agree.
Yeah.
So we're safe with all of that. Give that a nice blend. Now, if you'll hand me the one on the left there, I have a chili lime seasoning. I picked this up at the local store. I think it's one of the best things I've found this year. I absolutely love it.
And it's fresh market, right? Yeah, so.
It is. Now, you can buy other seasonings that are chili lime. Use them on your Bloody Mary bar, drop a cucumber in them, your limes. It's just fantastic. But this is one of my favorite blends that I've found. You can even make your own. So we're going to throw several tablespoons in here and really give this a good seasoning. So don't be shy with this. It's not spicy. It just has a really beautiful flavor when it comes time to complementing those avocado slices. So we're going to give that a stir, make it all happy. We've got our cheese in there, and I think that's good. And you can kind of tell by the color. You've got a lot of red in there now. Your plain panko crumbs are now beautifully seasoned. So over here we have a little self-rising flour. And this goes a long way, so just go with it. I've got a beautiful beer. Today we're using a Fat Tire. Yesterday I used a whole different beer. I like a dark beer. I like a good lager. About 3/4 cup, and you're going to give that a stir, and then you're going to make adjustments as needed. So I give it a good whisk. Like right now I can tell it's too thick. Of course it's doing that. You can throw a little in there, like a couple tablespoons at a time. Now this batter, you want it like a thin pancake batter. You don't want it too thick. You don't want your avocado totally coated heavy, because that takes away a little more of that, but a couple more tablespoons. It takes away from the flavor of all of it, and we don't want a big thick coating on it. A little more. I want a little bit thinner.
I don't want to put too much in.
Just a touch more.
Okay.
There, that's perfect.
I'm not trying to take your sous chef Kyle's job away from him.
Kyle's very busy.
Kyle, your job is safe.
So if you see in here, you've got just a, it's a little lumpy still, but you've got a nice kind of running batter. You've got a good ribbon going on in here. And that's what you want. Something that'll coat your avocado, but it won't be just obnoxiously thick.
Wow.
So we're gonna set that aside, and then we're gonna work on our avocado and go right into the sink. Now, your avocados, your first instinct when you're doing this is to find like a super soft one. Don't. You don't want to buy it like you would just pick it up and eat it. That's exactly what works. You want it to be just the perfect amount of ripeness, because once it hits that oil and does what it's meant to do.
Okay,
Isn't
that's a little firmer than,
Oh, see,
I always like to check it out.
yeah,
Yep.
it's just, fork tender, really. I have cut these in wedges with the skin, but I find that it breaks the avocado slices when you go to pull the skin off. It wants to hang on if it's just the right amount of ripeness. So I take a nice little tablespoon and go right in here and pop that out.
I'm always afraid of cutting myself.
You don't want a thick wedge. Our taco shells are small. They're about 4 inches. And with the batter on it, 1 slice of avocado is the perfect size. So you're just gonna kind of just gently go in there, a little less than a 1/2 inch probably. And depending on how big your avocado is, you're gonna get 5 to 6 slices. At this point, you can drop them in. I separate them, of course, and just drop them right in there. Boom, boom, boom. And then I kind of just, because I've got my glove, you can use a spoon, you can use a fork or a knife, whatever works for you.
Gotta use the hands.
You kind of almost do. And this is why we wash our hands a lot, and this is why we do a lot of this before our guests come over. Nobody wants to see that. There you go. And then I drop it right in here. And once it's in my panko seasoning, I'm gonna shake a lot of that right off of there, see? Once it's in the panko seasoning, I just take my spoon or clean hand and just kind of cover it before I move it. All right?
Yeah,
So,
you can't use the other hand.
no, only one monster finger allowed. That's kind of what you got. This is gonna
Nice
go
and
over onto
coated.
our wire rack. There you go. And the beauty of this is that you can make these ahead and
Okay.
just set them there like that, and they're as happy as can be. So there's that. We can take these over and give them a really good fry right now. And we're not totally deep frying. We're at about a 1/2 inch thick here with our oil. You don't want to go, you can go deep fried, but I like this better. You can control your darkness on the
Gotcha.
avocado when I just have a
and-
little. So we're gonna take this guy right here. And you want to very gently pull him up with your tongs or whatever you use, because it's still an avocado. It needs to be handled gently.
I could see why you wanted to wait, because now it's really
Yeah.
bubbling up.
But now things happen in a hurry. So
Okay.
you want to stand, this is no time to go powder your nose, answer the phone.
And I have a tendency to want to cook too many things at once, and you can't do that, right?
Yeah, you do not want to crowd your oil, because you need those bubbles. See how they're coming up in between? That means they're cooking all around your avocado, and it just makes it more beautiful. And you can see how this is
It's
already
really turning
browned.
brown. I mean, that's,
It's not-
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's
And
just a
that's
few
about
seconds.
the perfect
Yeah.
darkness. If your oil's a little more shallow, sometimes I'll tilt this guy right up on his back. And see, you've got the smoke going on already, and there you go. Your avocado, when you bite into it, is just creamy. It doesn't break down, it
Oh
holds
my.
its shape, but it turns into just a kind of a luscious creaminess, like avocado is the very best of an avocado. There
Like-
it is. I made a slaw earlier today. This does have fish sauce in it if there are
Okay.
any allergies. It's just a little cabbage, a little fish sauce, some soy, and rice wine vinegar.
I would never
little-
have thought of using fish sauce. That's neat.
Oh,
Yeah.
Fish sauce brings out just the goodness
Yeah.
and everything. It brings a little kind of a Asian flair to it, but I just love it on a taco. Or you can use any slaw you want. Go to Famous Dave's, buy some coleslaw. It's the best.
Okay.
Queso fresco is a really beautiful cheese. I love white onions on my tacos, some fresh cut up tomato, and a radish. Always go for the radish when it comes to a taco in my book. So Here's
Wow.
where you start. Whatever sounds good to you, just pop it in there. I'm going to start with a little slaw on the bottom. And of course, it also gives it just some gorgeous color because if it's beautiful, it tastes better. I think that's the law. So you see how large they are after all of that? That's actually a little bigger than our taco shells want to accommodate, but I think we're okay with it. All right, all that. I'm going to skip the tomatoes because I want to go straight for these radish. And if you cut your radish up in advance, throw them in a little bath of ice water. It'll keep them crisp.
Yep.
It'll keep them fresh. Otherwise, they tend to wilt a little bit. And then, of course,
Then your
here is
sauce,
our
your super duper.
gorgeous sour cream and a Chipotle sauce. And the one thing I would put on this little pile of sides is fresh lime to squeeze over all of it. And there's that. I think it's just beautiful. We can add a little bit of this to make it so pretty. There you go.
Wow.
And there's that.
Well, there we have it.
And you can have your guests pick those up and make their own and just set it all out there.
Well, Jill, I want to thank you. First of all, I want to thank the Armstrongs for opening up their home to us today.
Thank you.
And a special thanks to Anna and Finemark Bank for all you do for Shell Point and for sharing you and Kyle with us today. Thank you, Jill, very much.
Thank you.
I'm not going to try to eat this on the camera. I'll wait till it's off.
That's probably a very good thing.
Yeah, thanks for joining us today. And when you see me around Shell Point, ask me how it tastes. Bye for now.